Are you curious about what my favorite social media scheduling tools are? Keep watching because in this video, I'm going to break down all of the different social media tools I've used in the last few years, pros and cons for each of them, and why I'm choosing to keep things simple. My name is May Pak, and I help makers, artists, and designers create a consistent income selling their handmade products online. Let's get into talking about my favorite current social media tools. If you're on Instagram, I currently use Planoly, and I have heard that Later is very similar, if not even better than Planoly. What I like about Planoly and Later, I've done a little bit of research, is that they're both free to use for Instagram. So both Later and Planoly can auto post for you, which is very, very nice. And what I like about both of these softwares too is that there's a very nice visual layout builder. So when you upload your posts, you can kind of shift them around to see what looks nice visually. So for example, for me, I like to have a very colorful feed. But it kind of is a pet peeve of mine when, say, a red themed color post is right next to another red themed colored post. And I want to kind of spread them out a little bit and make sure they're not right next to each other. So let's talk about Facebook. Facebook is kind of an odd one because Facebook is one of those social media platforms that knows when you're using a third-party software to schedule posts. I don't know if you've paid attention or if you've seen this before, but sometimes some people's posts, when you see under the little timestamp underneath their name, you'll see posted by blah blah blah, posted by Hootsuite, posted by Buffer, or posted by Meet Edgar. Facebook knows you're using a third-party platform because you have to connect that software to Facebook, right? So Facebook doesn't like it when you use third-party software, and that's fine because Facebook does have its own built-in scheduling system. It's completely free, and using their own built-in scheduler means your posts are not going to get penalized, and it's going to reach more people when you use their built-in system. So Facebook is a huge reason why I use the apps that I use. And we'll get into this later, but when I talk about using general apps like Hootsuite, Hootsuite can do all the platforms. It can do Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I don't care about using tools that can do all the platforms because I don't need a tool that can do all the platforms because I'm already using Facebook's built-in scheduler. I do highly recommend that if you're focusing on Facebook marketing, that you use their built-in scheduler and try to avoid using a third-party software for it. You're going to see overall better reach, better engagement with your posts. Here's a question for you that I'd love to find out. What is your favorite social media tool? Please let me know in the comments. Let's talk about Pinterest now. Number 3. My favorite Pinterest software is Tailwind. Now, Pinterest as a social media is really great for people who blog, or if, say, you are a business owner that has education to share with people. You have some knowledge that you need to share with your audience. Blogging is a great way to market that kind of business model, and Pinterest goes hand in hand with blogging very nicely. Now, a few things I love about Tailwind. 1, their newest looping feature. This is a feature that helps you repin pins into boards on autopilot for you. This is a feature that I used to love when I was using a software called Board Booster that's no longer around, but this looping feature is what single-handedly made me grow to tens of thousands of followers in just a few short months. And then of course with Tailwind, you can schedule your pins to boards or to group boards. Unfortunately, Tailwind is not free. I haven't yet found a better solution that's free for Pinterest, but if you have any tips, definitely let me know in the comments. And finally, for those of you guys who are looking for a solution that's kind of an all-in-one that covers all the different platforms, because I know there are way too many platforms for us to keep track of, Hootsuite is what I recommend. It's free to use, it works with all the platforms, it has all the features you would ever need, and it also keeps everything, all your comments and direct messages and your scheduling of posts, all in one place. I do want to talk about some of the tools I've used before that didn't work out so great. And I'm talking about some of the more complex social media scheduling tools like Meet Edgar, CoSchedule, Buffer. These are usually not free to use, but I just want you to be aware about the cons of using these, just in case you were considering on getting them. Some of these tools do a really cool thing where it repurposes your content. So for example, if you uploaded 10 posts and each one is scheduled to go out once daily, then at the end of 10 days, you're gonna run out of content, right? Well, a software like MeetEdgar, for example, and there are others that are kind of like it where it has this repurposing feature, at the end of 10 days, it will start recycling the first 10 posts that you've posted before. So if you have to go on vacation or for whatever reason you didn't upload new posts, it'll just reuse the first 10 posts that you had uploaded before. And a reason why I was using this strategy and these tools before, repurposing and recycling content, was because I had created so much content to the point where I had like a year's worth of content. So when I posted something on January 1st, 2019, it wouldn't be until January 1st, 2020 that a person would see that same post again. And it's very likely that a person seeing that post in 2019 is not going to remember it in 2020, if they'll even see that same post to begin with. Because the algorithm does weird things about like who can see what kind of content, right? So knowing all of this information, the problem that happens is that if you're not careful, you can start to post content that is not timely. Even when you're using software that doesn't have this recycling or repurposing feature, when you're in the habit of scheduling social media posts, that means that you're not on the fly creating content that you know is relevant to that day. You can definitely plan around things and be strategic about it, but I've been in pickles before where I've posted Christmas products in the middle of March. And it just doesn't make sense, and it's kind of embarrassing. Because this makes you post content that's kind of less relevant and less timely, that also means that you're becoming less engaged, and your posts in turn are less engaging. And because in some way you're no longer playing an active role and having an active conversation on social media. So my recommendation for you to avoid all of what I've just said, when you do schedule, to not schedule things so far out in advance. Maybe like a week period is a good amount of time to schedule posts for. And the third disadvantage for using social media scheduling tools is that social media now knows when you're using a third-party app to schedule posts with them. And sometimes the social media doesn't like it when you do that. And when they don't like it, you know what that means, right? They're not going to show your post to as many people. I used software like that for a couple years in my business, and I saw the quality of my posts and my engagement go down slowly over time. So it's kind of a catch-22, but you're going to have to decide for yourself and your priorities with your business model what's going to be best for you. If you want to learn more about how to use social media to market your handmade business online, click on the next video on this screen. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you over there.